Hey, welcome to Night Combos. It's Lovey here. Okay, y'all, we have a couple of important things to talk about. So, in this video, we're going to talk about Ken proposing to Gypsy, allegedly. You know, he said he's going to propose to her on her first day of freedom when she gets off of parole, which is supposed to be June 25th, if she makes it that far. And if he really will propose, or is he just stuck? And also, Gypsy admitting that she's going to lie to baby Aurora about her grandmother, Dee Dee Petrie. Yes, we know that she's known by Dee Dee Blanchard, but Dee Dee's family wanted on her urn and all of that Dee Dee Petrie. So we try to remember to say Dee Dee Petrie when we can to honor Dee Dee and her family's wishes. Okay, so that's why we try to make sure we say Dee Dee Petrie. But real quick, thank you so much to all of our subscribers and to all of our new subscribers. Thank you so very much. We're continuing to grow a little bit each and every day, and we truly appreciate that so very much. Welcome to all of our new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing and joining our family and channel. We truly appreciate y'all so very much. Y'all know we love and appreciate y'all so much. I hope y'all do anyway. We hope y'all do. Because we wouldn't have this channel without y'all. So thank you so much to all of you. And hopefully we'll reach that 5,000 subscriber goal that we made for ourselves for by July, which is when my birthday is. It's in July. So hopefully we reach that by then. But if you're not already, please make sure you subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell, all of the things, and we would truly appreciate it so very much. And y'all, please leave your thoughts and opinions about what we're going to talk about in this video in the comment section down below, and we would truly appreciate it so very much. So one thing we need to let y'all know real quick is a really good friend of ours is thinking about putting together a bingo game, y'all, for when Gypsy Rose gets off parole. And this sounded so fun to us and like such a good idea to do, so we wanted to share it with y'all. Y'all would be able to play for free, or you could choose to buy a bingo card if you want to. You don't have to. Like I said, you can play for free, or you could choose to buy a bingo card if you want to help raise money for charity. If someone who buys a bingo card wins and gets bingo, all of the profits collected will go to a charity of their choice from a pre-approved list, donated in the winner's name. So, for example, like hubby and I don't count, but I'm just saying, for example, if hubby won, if he bought a bingo card and he won, then all of the money that totals up from everyone buying a card, all of the money would go to the charity that he chose, and it would go in his name. So whoever wins, it will go in your name. She's still figuring it all out, but let us know in the comments, one, would you be into doing something like that? And two, if you have any wild ideas for bingo squares, like what should go in the bingo squares. And three, this is the most important thing, let us know any good charities that should be on the list. I mean, all charities are good, but let us know which charities you think should go on the list, because we couldn't have like thousands of different charities. So I think she's wanting to narrow it down to only so many charities, and then whoever wins can pick from that list which charity the money goes to, for example. Right now, though, the ARC, A-R-C, is on the list, but more can be added. The ARC is a national nonprofit that supports people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. They advocate for equal rights, access to justice, and community inclusion. So, y'all drop your thoughts below and let us know what you think. Would you participate? Can you suggest other charities to add to the list and suggest some good ideas for bingo squares? So let us know if y'all have any ideas for these things, because we think it'll be fun, and also it'll be fun, to play for free for those of you who can't buy a card or don't want to buy a bingo card. But it'll be fun also for those of you who do buy a bingo card, the money going to a really good charity, that we just thought that would be an amazing idea. Also, just to let y'all know, there will be a way to track the money, to track, which charity the money goes to. And, when there's a winner and the money is donated to the charity, we will post that immediately, the proof that the money did go to the charity. Like, all of that is being kept up with. So we just wanted to let y'all know that. There won't be any questions on whether or not the money went to the charity or not. We would put proof up that it did go to the charity. Okay, so jumping over here to TikTok, I want y'all to hear a piece of a live that Gypsy's BFF Bree was doing. Bree is the gingerbread man person. She had that over her face. And then Jeanette is down here at the bottom. And then y'all can see Gypsy is right there. And then Sheena, the one that likes to use different creators for her profile picture. Rogie, Double Standards, and then Dreamer, the older woman that hangs out with them at the top. This is the whole little clan right here all together, okay? Or whatever you want to call them. The whole little group, the whole little clan, the whole little cult, the minions, all that. Sitting over here. Now, this was posted by Behind the Curtain on TikTok. She posted this piece of Bree's live. They're talking about the episode, the ultimatum episode from Gypsy's show, where Ryan gave Gypsy the ultimatum, basically saying, well, Aurora will stay in Anderson forever. Basically meaning like she'll stay in Anderson for as long as she has to, and I won't go and do this paternity test until I'm court ordered to do so and all of that. If you and baby Aurora can't meet me for lunch before I go and do the paternity test. Because remember, Gypsy asked Ryan to meet her and baby Aurora for lunch, and then they would go all three together to do the paternity test. Then when Ken found out about it, when she told Ken that was her plan and that she had texted Ryan that, he said, no, Aurora's not going, and if you do take Aurora, then I will move back to Texas and file for full custody. Okay, so both of them, kind of gave Gypsy this ultimatum. And of course, all of her little minions here are taking up for her. Okay? Now, according to Gypsy, this is Gypsy's words now, so take them with a grain of salt. She said that Ken immediately apologized for saying that and said that he wouldn't really do that. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to look at a few other clips while talking about that and getting into that even more in just a second after we look at this clip. But I had to give y'all a background of what they're talking about. They're talking about that episode. And Dreamer starts getting off on the last man that gave her an ultimatum and all that. So y'all take a listen to this. And they're talking about, Ken proposing. Because remember, in the last episode of the show, which we truly apologize, we have not put that recap out yet. Because we have it recorded and saved. We just have not posted it. And I'm so sorry. We will post that ASAP. But anyway, that, Ken was looking at engagement rings in the jewelry store for Gypsy. He knew that Gypsy was going to see this, so it's a little bit weird. But we'll get into that even more in just a second. But that's what they're talking about, and talking about Ken proposing to her on her first day of freedom.
Talk about that, Gypsy. I have no idea what's going on. I talked to Ken, and he's like, well, watch the episode, but, he's keeping close to the vest, Oh, yeah, Dreamer was not happy with Ken. Yeah, he said as much. He said, Dreamer... I gotta be honest with you, Gypsy. I was not happy with it. I didn't like the fact that he was giving you an ultimatum, and then he was giving you an ultimatum. The last guy that gave me an ultimatum was about a parrot, and he gave me an ultimatum between him and the bird. I says, there's the door. Was that a parrot? Parrot. Oh, Dreamer. It was no, I wasn't happy. Y'all need to follow this woman, because she got some stories, okay? This is where I gotta come in on the guy. You follow me. Pick your choice. Dreamer's like, I gotta come in.
So I don't know if y'all could understand that or hear that or not. I have the volume all the way up. But Dreamer was the older lady, Dreamer, the oldest lady that hangs out with him, Dreamer, who's also mean and hateful to creators and racist, and actually has a biracial son, which blows my mind. But anyway, but there's still people that are racist, even though they have biracial children. But anyway, if y'all couldn't understand that, Dreamer was saying, the last man that gave me an ultimatum, she said, I didn't like that he gave you an ultimatum, and then he gave you an ultimatum. Y'all have to know Dreamer. She doesn't talk very, very well, okay? And she doesn't type very well. She just doesn't speak very well. It's like English wasn't her first language. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to describe her to y'all, okay? And how she talks. But she was saying that the last man that gave me an ultimatum, it was between him and a parrot, a bird that I had. And I showed him the door.
I gotta be honest with you, Gypsy. I was not happy with it. I didn't like the fact that he was giving you an ultimatum, and then he was giving you an ultimatum. The last guy that gave me an ultimatum was about a parrot, and he gave me an ultimatum between him and the bird. I says, there's the door. Was that a parrot? Parrot. Oh, Dreamer. It was no, I wasn't happy. Y'all need to follow this woman, because she got some stories, okay? This is where I gotta come in on the guy. You follow me. Pick your choice. Dreamer's like, I gotta come in. Just follow me. And her mom come in. The woman I call her mom follows me. Emotions run high in those type of situations, guys. I know. Emotions run high. And there's a lot of emotions, and people say things they don't mean in the moment all the time. They gotta say sorry and take them back, and I'm sure he did. He did. I mean, right after he said it, he's like, I'm sorry. I'm just really upset right now. I didn't mean it. Because, I started to cry, and, y'all all gonna see in the next episode a lot of stuff that, maybe didn't make sense in the last episode is going to make more sense in the next episode, because I don't get to watch it before it airs. None of us do. So we're watching it with everybody else. And
then how do you know what's going to be shown in the next episode, Gypsy? How can you say, well, y'all will see in the next episode that he apologized immediately and because I started crying? That's what she just said, y'all. And then she said, but I don't get to see the episodes before they air. I have to watch them with y'all. So, she knows what was filmed, but she doesn't know what they're going to put on the episodes. But she just said that she didn't know, then she said she did know. So, that didn't make much sense, Gypsy.
y'all all gonna see.
But Ken, he did not immediately apologize like what Gypsy's saying.
In the next episode, a lot of stuff that, maybe didn't make sense in the last episode is going to make more sense in the next episode, because I don't get to watch it before it airs. None of us do.
So we're watching it with everybody else. And, like, I know what all happened, and so it was a high emotional situation.
I haven't watched it.
And
Sweet, there's one more.
yeah, there's one on next Monday.
And
I understand, and I think a lot of people will understand the position that I was put in, but also understand the position that Ken was in. And I don't know if you're going to show all the text between me and Ryan from that moment in time when Ken gave me that ultimatum, because I was, trying to navigate the paternity test stuff, and like we see in episode 10, Ryan did not want to accept the paternity test that we had already did before she was born. He wanted another one after she was born. And so,
talk about that, just.
She's talking about how Ryan wouldn't accept the paternity test that Gypsy and Ken went and done on their own, that no one had proof of was real, and it didn't match up to any real paperwork from DDC, DNA Diagnostic Center. It didn't. We did videos on that. So it wasn't Ryan. Ryan's lawyers told him to go and get an actual court-ordered paternity test so that it would be on record, which is very smart to do, especially Gypsy, since you were hopping off of Ryan's D that was fire, apparently, onto Ken's Sunny D that you call Sunny D. Yeah. In the same daggone month, and then ended up pregnant. So when you're sleeping with two different men in the same cycle, yeah, I would say it's smart to get a court-ordered paternity test so it's on record who the father is. Okay, so speaking of that, of Ken's alleged ultimatum to Gypsy, well, it wasn't alleged. I mean, we did see it on the show that's what he said he was going to do. Well, it didn't actually show on the show Ken saying, I will move to Texas and file for custody. I don't believe. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But I don't think it did. But it did show Ryan's text messages. But again, and I'm not trying to take one side or the other, but again, Gypsy did tell Ryan, hey, we can all three go to lunch and play family for a few hours and go get the paternity test done and all of that. And then Gypsy, being the irresponsible person that she is, texted Ken while he was apparently at work and said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Then the next day, the producers were filming Ken at his house, and Gypsy was in cutoff at Christy and Rod's house, and asking Ken how he felt about all of this. And Ken said, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not going to let that happen. That's what I remember happening. I don't think it showed Ken saying this. I think Gypsy is the one that said this, but apparently it's true. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of that, and also the ring, it's showing him going into the jewelry store to buy her a ring, saying he wanted to propose because the woman that worked at the jewelry store asked Ken, do you have a specific date or a special date in mind that you're going to do this on? And he said, he kind of, grinned and his face turned red and everything, like he was almost embarrassed or something. And he said, well, I was gonna do it, on her first day of freedom. Yeah, she's on parole, and so I was gonna propose to her, the day she gets off parole. Her first day of freedom off of parole. So I don't know if he means the day she gets off of parole on June 25th or the next day, which would be her first actual day of freedom. I don't know. But speaking of that, it brought hubby and I to this clip here, which was from a video that we had watched the other day by Case Studyz. And a lot of y'all watch Case Studyz. A lot of y'all know who he is. He's very snarky. He tells it like it is, but he has a lot of first-hand information. and he has a lot of good information that he puts out. We don't always agree with the way he says certain things or certain, slanders and things, but that's just the way he chooses to speak. But regardless, he's still a good creator and has good information and first-hand information like we were saying. But this is a clip from a video that he did the other day. And for those of you who haven't seen it and y'all want to see the whole video, we will link it at the top of the description box of this video for y'all so y'all can watch his full video. But watch this clip right here that hubby and I seen the other day, because it made us wonder, because hubby and I have talked so many times about this. Why does Ken continue to stay with Gypsy? Why does he continue to put up with this? Why doesn't he just move back to Texas and file for custody? Or why doesn't he, even if he stays in New Orleans, why doesn't he file for custody, stay in Metairie and file for full custody? Why doesn't he do any of this? And, people say, oh, it's because of the money, which it kind of is. And then, I was talking to one of our really good friends the other day on the phone, and I was telling her, I'm just not satisfied with any of these reasons as to why Ken stays with Gypsy. Why does he continue to stay? And she was saying, well, he's brainwashed, which I could agree with. He is brainwashed to a certain degree, in a way. So I went to hubby after her and I got off the phone, and I was telling hubby, she was saying that he's brainwashed, so could it be that? Well, yeah, it could be that a little bit, but that still did not satisfy me. Y'all get what I'm saying? I have not been satisfied this whole time. And hubby has been wondering the same thing. Why does he continue to put up with all of this mess from Gypsy and he doesn't do anything about it? That's just like the video we talked about yesterday in our video on the Father's Day post that she posted to him. Because remember, on Father's Day, this is all Gypsy posted to Ken. Happy first Father's Day at Ken Urker. You are an amazing man and father. We love you. And it's Ken holding baby Aurora. And if you really look in the background of the picture, you can kind of see, I think that's some deer and then some giraffe. Maybe that's gazelles or something. I'm not sure. It's something like that. And then some giraffes. It was from the petting zoo place that they had went to in Louisiana. I think it was last month or something. So this picture was from that. It wasn't even from actual Father's Day. So she posted that to Ken and then posted this whole long post to her own dad, Rod, on Father's Day. But only posted this to Ken. And they weren't together on Mother's Day, remember? Ken posted a picture of Gypsy, an older picture of Gypsy from when Aurora was first born. And they had first brought her home. Posted that picture to Gypsy telling her Happy Mother's Day, but he wrote a little short paragraph to her of some stuff, though, telling her he appreciates and loves watching her grow as a mom and all of that. But this is all she did for Ken. Then 5 hours after she posted this video to Ken. 5 hours after posting that picture, she posted this on TikTok to Ken, wearing a necklace with a K on it, with the song playing in the background that had these lyrics to it. This basically, that says, don't tell me I'm too hard to please, that you're worn down from fighting for me. A real man knows what he's signing up for. And catch that. A real man knows what he's signing up for. And remember that. And if you don't, then I'll show myself the door. 'Cause I'm worth it. You're crazy, baby, if you think I don't know it. I ain't afraid to walk away. If you can't see it, believe it, and give me the love I'm deserving. 'Cause I know I'm worth it. Is it too much to look me in the eye and listen to what I'm saying this time? I'm so tired of being up on your shelf. And if that's what you want somebody else. 'Cause I'm worth it. And then it goes back to the thing again. The chorus, y'all. I couldn't think. So I'm sorry. Then it goes back to the chorus again. And then going all the way back to don't tell me I'm too hard to please and all of that. But posted that to Ken 5 hours after her little happy Father's Day post to him. So a real man knows what he's signing up for is what she's saying. So listen to this clip by Case Studyz. Because again, like I was saying, we weren't satisfied with, oh, he's brainwashed. He's just staying with her for the money. He's staying with her, just for Aurora, all of that. Because he said he would not want his child growing up like the way Aurora has grown up so far. But yet he's put up with it. Why? Well, this will make it make sense.
Oh yeah, look at them sharing that little memory on her mother's murderversary. Oh, such a cute couple. Let's talk about Ken's intentions. Now, we have all wondered for quite some time, when is Ken going to leave Gypsy? Why hasn't Ken left Gypsy? I mean, we can see that the man clearly despises her. He can barely stand being in her presence. So it's just been kind of, just left to our imaginations as to why he stayed in this relationship that he was, for all intents and purposes, trapped into. I mean, we've all seen the neglect. We see that Gypsy is an absentee mother that exploits their child. And, I see people wanting to give Ken a...
I apologize about that, y'all. Okay, here it is.
Team mother that exploits their child, and I see people wanting to give Ken a pass. They think that he's actually an attentive parent, and he's really in it for the right reasons. Bullshit. No, it's because Gypsy is his meal ticket, and let me tell you why. The reason why Ken is still with Gypsy is because Ken signed a personal NDA with Gypsy when he entered her life. And I'm not talking about an NDA with Lifetime, which he signed one of those as well. I am talking about a personal NDA. Now, for those of you that don't know what an NDA is, it's a non-disclosure agreement. Essentially, if Ken were to leave Gypsy, he is not allowed to talk about her or anything in their private lives, anything that she's ever said. He can't say anything without facing a lawsuit, which he would lose. Also, you may be wondering, well, did Ryan Anderson sign one? No, Ryan Anderson did not sign a personal NDA. He did sign an NDA with Lifetime in regards to their show, but he did not sign a personal NDA. He refused it, which makes you wonder, right? But Ken did. And that also says a lot, like that they knew, I guess Gypsy is such a liability that they have to have Ken sign this because they know just how reckless Gypsy is. Oh yeah, look at...
Now this is the picture that we know that they shared on June the 9th, the day that Dee Dee was unalived. Case goes on to explain more about what he was saying about the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement, and Ken signing a personal one and explaining how Christy's not actually the one that opened the door for Ken to come into the relationship, which is the person Ryan accuses of breaking up his marriage. He accuses Christy of breaking up him and Gypsy's marriage. When, no, really, that was a Gypsy, okay? Gypsy's the one that was married to him. She's the one that chose to step out on her marriage. So even if she had people in her ear, it was still Gypsy's ultimate decision. But regardless of that, we knew about this NDA that Ken signed, y'all. And all the times we have talked about, like, what is going on? Why is Ken staying with her? It never came to mind, like, the NDA. It was the NDA, y'all. When we heard Case Studyz going over this, we were like, dang, we knew that. But that does make a lot of sense, okay? Ken, he didn't finish school. He didn't go to college or anything like that. He's always been a bartender. When he lived in Texas, he was a waiter and a bartender. That's kind of his trade. That's what he does. So he doesn't make a whole lot of money doing that. I'm sure he can make a decent living doing that, but if he done it full time, but he doesn't make the kind of money he's used to. So does it have to do with money? Yeah, it does in a way. But he could step away, work a full-time job, file for custody of Aurora, which, like Case Studyz said, he's not the most upstanding man and parent or anything like that, and we kind of agree with that because of the things that he's shown and done, but he could file for custody of Aurora, and if he got full custody of Aurora, Gypsy, with all her millions, would have to pay him good money in child support. I'll just put it that way. It would be really good money in child support. But yeah, he would have to live for a while, without having the money that he's used to having now. Now, I guess to show everybody that they're together, they're back together, they're happy for the moment anyway, Gypsy posted this on her TikTok earlier today. Y'all take a look. There's a song playing in the background. She's in this black little pajama set, lingerie, whatever, and Ken has the remote in his hand. He knows that she's filming a video, yeah, but she's doing this, and then she reaches in a bag, grabs some fake rose petals, and throws it on him. I can tell y'all this, I'm just saying, I don't know why she feels like she has to share every single thing about her sexual life with us, but Gypsy, we don't want to know. But I can tell y'all this, I'll share something. I can tell y'all this, if I climbed up on the bed like that in some lingerie or something and was tossing some rose petals, I would have to cut the camera off. Oh, the phone would drop out of my hand because hubby would kind of grab me and pull me close to him. If y'all get what I'm saying, okay? So it's kind of odd that she does this and he just continues to keep the remote in his hand, looks at her, laughs, thinks it's silly, and then goes back to looking at the TV again. So what do y'all think about the reason he's continuing to stay with her? Do y'all think that every time he does break up with her, she throws up in his face, look, you can't talk about me or Aurora or anything, so you can't make money like Ryan does. See, Ryan did not sign the personal NDA. Ryan didn't sign that. He only signed it with Lifetime. Ken signed a personal NDA, non-disclosure agreement. So Ryan, if he wanted to, could say anything that he knows about Gypsy and what happened between him and Gypsy, what happened in their home. He could talk about Gypsy, what they talked about while she was in prison, after she got out of prison. He could talk about all of that and make money off of it if he wanted to, right? Ken cannot. Now, was it smart of her family or her team or whatever, like she likes to call him, to get Ken to sign this personal NDA to date her? Probably so, because they know how diabolical she is. Like Case Studyz was saying, there's no telling what she might do or say. So it was smart of them to do that. So do y'all think she uses that against him to get him to stay? Like saying, well, you can't talk about me or the baby or anything, so you can't make money off of us, so you're going to be broke and I'm not giving you any more money. Do y'all think she plays that game or plays the game of, I'm not going to let you see Aurora unless you take me to court, and he knows he doesn't have the money for as good of attorneys as she does, okay, and we know how friendly she is with her attorney turned manager turned attorney when she needs him, Mike Stanfield. So Ken knows how Mike Stanfield is. He knows he can't afford really good attorneys, so he wouldn't be able to hire the type of attorney or really good attorneys like he would need to fight her attorneys, so to speak. Do y'all think it could be something like that? And she throws that in his face. I'm not going to let you see Aurora. I'm not, I'm not going to give you any more money, all of that. And then after a few days, he thinks about it and he's like, well, I guess I have to take her back. So he takes her back. What are y'all's thoughts on that? Because that makes total sense with the personal NDA. And why we didn't think of that when hubby and I were having personal conversations about why in the world will he not leave her? I don't know why we didn't think about that, y'all, because we knew about it, but we did not think about it. And then when Case Study said it, I said, hubby, that's it right there. But what do y'all think? And do y'all think that Ken will actually go through with proposing to Gypsy? Because if he does, she'll be planning the wedding the very next day, okay? And if he does, if y'all think that he will, do y'all think that he'll actually go through with marrying her? Or will he try to put it off as long as he possibly can, or try to get custody of Aurora and then leave, or what? Like, what are y'all's thoughts on it? Okay, jumping to this, Gypsy lying to baby Aurora about her grandmother, Dee Dee. Y'all listen to this little clip from an interview that Gypsy did with ABC News. And I'm sure a lot of y'all may have heard this, but we're about to talk about it again in a different way. So take a listen to this clip right here.
And I think that if I can explain to my daughter that, her grandma was not evil, not a monster, but she was very sick. And I think by putting it that way, I take control over the narrative.
That narrative shocked the nation. This is the house where Claudinia Blanchard was found stabbed to death. At age 23, Gypsy plotted with...
Okay, so we know that Gypsy loves to have control over the narratives that people believe, right? And she just said herself, if I can explain to my daughter about mental illness and that her grandmother was not a monster, she was not evil, she was just sick, then I think I could take control of the narrative. Y'all listen to that part again.
And I think that if I can explain to my daughter that, her grandma was not evil, not a monster, but she was very...
Not evil, not a monster, but she was very sick. Y'all keep that in mind. Not evil, not a monster.
Sick. And I think by putting it that way, I take control over the narrative.
That narrative shocked the nation.
She gets to control the narrative if she puts it that way. Now, we showed this full video clip that Gypsy posted on her TikTok page, which is from the movie Tangled, which is like a revamp of the Rapunzel story. We showed y'all the full video, in the full clip in the video that we did, Gypsy, Stop, You're Not a Princess. Gypsy says that her life is parallel, meaning exactly the same, as this Disney cartoon character, Tangled. And y'all see what it says right here in the very first part of the clip. A certain princess was raised by an evil woman who used her for selfish reasons, kept the princess from living a life of her own. So Gypsy's saying right there that she herself was raised by an evil woman, Dee Dee. She's calling her mom evil, saying that her mom was evil. She's a monster. But you just got done saying, Gypsy, that your mom was not evil and she was not a monster. She was just sick, which that's a lie as well, because she didn't have Munchausen by proxy. She didn't abuse you, nothing. None of that. So everything that you're saying is a complete lie. So you feel good that you're going to lie to your daughter. Do you not realize the internet is forever, Gypsy? And you know that people record things that you post. So do you not think that your child, Aurora, your baby girl, your daughter, will one day get on the internet and see, and no, it won't be when she's 16, honey, okay? Because kids are using tablets at a very young age in school already, all right? And they can look up certain things. Yes, some things are blocked, but there's going to be other students and kids that she's around whose parents don't pay attention and give them unfettered access to the internet, all right? And they're going to tell her, look, this is your mom. Look, this is videos about your mom. Do you not think she's going to see the truth about you, Gypsy? Do you not think she's going to see your medical records displayed everywhere, the FOIAs, the court documents, the police reports, the Child Protective Services reports, all of it, and see that, oh, my grandma Dee Dee, my grandma Petrie, she didn't abuse my mom. But my mom unalived her anyway. Why? Why did you do that, Mom? Why? You're right. She's going to ask you why one day. But what are you going to say to that, Gypsy? What are you going to say when Aurora comes to you and says, no, Mama. You're not getting away with that with me. No, Mom. You're not going to tell me that she was abusive. You're not going to tell me that she had Munchausen by proxy. I know better. I've got the proof right here in my hand. What are you going to say, Gypsy? Before I end this video out, and y'all let us know y'all's thoughts on that with Dee Dee and Gypsy lying to Aurora and admitting that she's going to lie to Aurora. Because she's out here dragging her mom's name through the mud left, right, and center and saying how horrible she is and she's evil and awful. Before we end this video out, I wanted to show y'all something interesting with Gypsy's TikTok. And I want to know y'all's thoughts about this as well. But like, it's probably one of two reasons. Either one, it's because Gypsy is deleting videos, which we know she does, or two, TikTok is catching up to her and realizing she doesn't have as many likes and followers as it says she does. Because we know she has a lot of bought accounts on her TikTok and her YouTube channel, right? But y'all look at this. It says she has 9.5 million followers now, which we've known for months now, but it's just now changing. But y'all see over here where it says, at the top, where it says 18 million likes? Okay, that was yesterday. And then earlier today, it went up to 20.6 million likes. Which doesn't add up with the views that she pulls in on her videos. She pulls in only around 100 to 200,000 views on this one where she's holding a sonogram where she made people think that she was pregnant with a second baby, which we have been told she is, but we haven't been able to confirm it completely yet. That one pulled in 881,000 views, but it doesn't add up with the 9.5 million followers that she has. Y'all watch the likes. It went from 20.6 million earlier today, and then all of a sudden it dropped down to 3.6 million later on, and then this evening it was at 3.9 million likes. So do y'all think TikTok is finally catching up with her? Because again, look at her views. Even at this one where she was trying her best to shake her butt for her BFF Bree, telling her thank you for keeping my secrets, that one has 3.4 million views. That doesn't add up with having 9.5 million followers. And then the likes dropped down from 20 million likes down to only 3.9 million likes. Something isn't adding up, y'all. So what are y'all's thoughts on Ken signing the NDA and her possibly maybe using that against him to make him stay with her and saying, well, I won't give you any money and you can't make any money off of my name or our child or anything that has to do with us personally while you are with me, and maybe possibly saying, you know, I'll keep Aurora away from you, and him proposing if he really will or not, and will he actually marry her if he does. And what are y'all's thoughts on her admitting on national television that she's going to lie to baby Aurora, well, she won't be a baby anymore, so to Aurora, when Aurora comes and asks her one day, why did you unalive my grandma Dee Dee? And what do y'all think about the TikTok thing? Y'all think they're finally catching up to her? Because even her YouTube channel, like I was saying, doesn't match up. You can see right here that it's showing 31.8 thousand subscribers, meaning she should be making bank off of YouTube right now. But look at the views from her videos. 6.2 thousand views. And we're going to do another video where we show y'all how many likes versus dislikes that she gets on each video, because she gets a lot of dislikes on her videos. But going to her channel and looking at it like this does not give her any type of views or money or anything like that. But don't go there anyway. But see, 6.2 thousand views. She reposted her P.O. box. And she put her and Ken's name on it this time. Because remember back last year, she opened a P.O. box and posted it, wanting people to send her supportive letters. And that's what she said this time. Send your support here. Then she shows herself at Walmart looking at toys, but doesn't buy anything, wanting people to just send her stuff. But 8.5 thousand views on that video. And then the parenting Q&A video that we showed y'all some of, 18,000 views, 6,000 views. Then the Stop Cyberbullying video got 30,000 views. Why? Because so many people were talking about that and calling her out for bullying people. That got 30,000 views. Over here, the bleach video where she bleached her own hair, 71,000 views. The only reason for that, again, is because that was something that was big, that was being talked about on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, on all social media platforms. But the rest of her views don't match. Like the ultrasound video she posted, 9.1 thousand views. Bassinet training her newborn, 17,000 views. Going to Harry Potter World at Universal Studios, 7.7 thousand views. It doesn't add up to having 31.8, almost 32,000 subscribers. So what are y'all's thoughts on all of this? Also, don't forget to let us know about the bingo card game, if y'all would be interested in doing that or not, and if y'all have any recommendations for that. Let us know in the comment section down below, and we would truly appreciate it so much. And please leave your thoughts and opinions and comments about everything we went over in this video. Sorry it ran a little long, but let us know everything that y'all think about all of this, and we'll be conversating with y'all like always. Again, if you're not already, please make sure you subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our videos, all of the things, and we would truly appreciate it so very much. And we'll see y'all in the next one, and we hope y'all have a good night, and God bless. Bye.